Hey Grand Adventurers, welcome back. I'm your host Mark Guido, and we're not camping at the beach, we're camping on the beach here in Central California. Come along. This episode of Grand Adventure is sponsored by etrailer.com, where you'll find thousands of products for RVing, towing, camping, outdoor recreation, vehicles, boating, and more. Click the link in the video description or scan the code on your screen to shop etrailer.com with Grand Adventure. Guadalupe-Nipomo Dunes is the largest remaining coastal sand dune system south of San Francisco, and the second largest in the state of California, encompassing an 18-mile stretch of California's central coast. It contains the highest sand dunes on the entire western coastline of the United States, some up to 500 feet tall. Cecil B. DeMille's epic 1923 movie, The Ten Commandments, was filmed here. A 5.5-mile stretch of these dunes, totaling 1,500 acres, comprises the Oceano Dunes State Vehicular Recreation Area, with much of the remaining dune area set aside for conservation. As this OHV area is the only state park in California where visitors may drive vehicles on the beach, it attracts some 2 million visitors annually. In addition to OHV riding, activities on this beach also include swimming, clamming, surfing, surf fishing, hiking, bird watching, and yes, both tent and RV camping. We have a permit covering a week of RV boondocking right on this broad sandy beach. Permits cost $10 per night, and there are no facilities provided save for a dumpster. Although this area gets frightfully busy in season, there are only 5 other campers out here during our early November visit. And for our first few days on the beach, the persistent marine layer has been stubborn. It's hard to imagine that there's not a cloud in the sky just a mile or two inland. We drove for 2.5 miles down the beach to reach this spot, and getting here with an RV can be somewhat intimidating. While the sand below the high tide line is somewhat firm, The same can't be said for the deep, soft sand near the dune fence line, where it's actually safe to camp away from the waves and incoming tides. Four-wheel drive is essential. When driving on sand, it's important to maintain momentum, but not necessarily speed. Don't make any sudden moves like acceleration, braking, or hard turns, which will dig your tires into the sand. Scan ahead for potential areas of softer sand to avoid. In deep sand, switch to four-wheel low and lock your differential if your vehicle has that capability. Despite knowing what to do, we nevertheless got bogged down in deep sand once ourselves on this trip and had to winch out both our truck and trailer by anchoring our winch cable to a passerby's vehicle to get out of the hole that we made for ourselves. It's critically important to air down your tires on both your tow vehicle and on your trailer to better flow to top the sand rather than dig into it. We reduced our tires from 80 psi down to 20 or 30 psi on the truck and 40 psi on the trailer. Rapid tire deflators like this one from the off-roading company ARB speed up this process substantially by temporarily removing and retaining the tire valve core, then reinserting the valve core once you're done. This ARB deflator is available directly from our valued video sponsor, etrailer. It is linked both down below in the video description and via the code right on your screen. We'll be back with lots more from Oceano Dunes right after we pause for a brief message from etrailer. Whether you need products for your RV, boat, trailer, vehicle, hunting and fishing, off-roading, and more, our video sponsor etrailer has you covered. Best of all, you'll find over 100 US-based enthusiast customer service reps ready to help via phone, chat, or email, both before and after the sale. These folks have used themselves the products that you're shopping for, and you won't find a more knowledgeable team anywhere to help you with your outdoor project. Click the link in the video description or scan the code on your screen to shop etrailer.com with Grand Adventure. Our timing could have been better, for our visit coincides with the arrival of the king tides, a period of abnormally low and high tides that occurs 3 or 4 times per year when the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun are in alignment. High tides of 8 to 9 feet are forecast for this week. Combine the king tides with wave activity predicted to reach 10 to 14 feet, and they've posted a coastal flood advisory for a few days this week as well. We'll be back on the sand after a few days later in this episode, but with the possibility of water reaching all the way to the dunes, washing into our campsite, we've got to temporarily relocate. Better safe than sorry. So we've moved to the Oceano Campground at Pismo State Beach, just off the dunes. Pismo State Beach contains 2 campgrounds. The North Beach campground is dry camping only for $25 per night, whereas some of the sites like ours at Oceano Campground, just a short stroll from the beach ramp to the dunes OHV area, have water and 30 amp electrical hookups for $40 per night. The partial hookup sites here are pull-through and paved. Pismo State Beach maintains a small visitor center at the entrance to Oceano Campground that explains the geology and ecology of the dunes. To be honest, I was second guessing myself when we left the beach, wondering if we were overreacting. It turns out that we weren't. The area just north of the dunes is known as the Five Cities, comprised of Glover Beach, Pismo Beach, Arroyo Grande, Oceano and Shell Beach. Pismo Beach is located on the Rancho Pismo Mexican land grant made to Jose Ortega in 1840. In 1846, Ortega sold Rancho Pismo to Isaac Sparks, before John Michael Price bought most of the rancho from Sparks. Price established the town of Pismo Beach in 1891. His homestead, shown here, is now a registered historical landmark at Price Historical Park. Pismo is known as the clam capital of the world, from when clams were commercially harvested during the 1950s. They were in such abundance then that fishermen harvested them with plows. While the famed Pismo clams are much smaller today than they were then, and less plentiful due to overfishing that led to a ban on commercial harvesting, many folks still dig for clams recreationally at low tide. The city still holds the Clam Festival every October, complete with clam chowder competitions and a clam-themed parade. Today, Pismo Beach is all about tourism, and over 2.5 million people visit annually. The first wharf at Pismo was built in 1882, followed by a full-length pier built in 1924 that was financed and constructed by William Woodrow Ward, who allowed full use of it by the public. We'll head back to boondocking on the beach right after we take a quick ad break to pay the bills. So stay tuned. After 3 days, the king tides will now start to retreat a bit, and this week's storm system has finally cleared the skies. They've just reopened the beach ramp following today's 8-foot high tide, and folks are already lining up for the weekend. After hiding out in the campground for a few days, we're heading back to the dunes ourselves for a sunny final weekend here boondocking on the beach. The creek is running, but not too badly. The tide, though, really did come up high on the beach, and this is even higher than where we were before. This won't be like our quiet first part of the week, but we'll try to make some space for ourselves. This spot barely stayed dry through this week's tides. But it did stay dry, so we should be fine right here. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is why we came here. Boondocking is a special experience to begin with, and boondocking on a beautiful beach is just icing on the cake. We hope that you've enjoyed visiting Oceano Dunes State Vehicle Recreation Area with us. If you enjoyed this episode, it is extremely important to us that you give us a huge thumbs up down below. And while you're down below, that's where you'll find the comment section, where we'd love to hear from you each and every week because we produce new RV adventure travel videos each and every Wednesday. So if you're not yet a grand adventurer yourself, there is no better time than right now for you to go smash that little subscribe button right down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen and ring that notification bell to be sure that you never miss a grand adventure. We'd also be honored if you shared the channel with your friends, family, and on social media. We're going to get packed up here and head on a little further down the coast near Santa Barbara to visit Solvang, coming up next Wednesday evening. So until next week from Solvang, please remember, life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you then.